Hello, everybody. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Monique, and I'm on a financial health journey to create an inheritance for the generations to come. And I want to do that through consistency and discipline. So today we are here for a paycheck budget closeout for the last check that I received in October, so October the 20th. I'd like to first thank everybody who has liked or commented on any of my videos or shorts, and especially to those that have decided to subscribe to my channel. I think I just paid attention to it and realized I'm like over 70 subscribers, which I'm actually extremely surprised about. But at the end of the day, I thank you all. I can understand and respect the community overall, the budget community, and just a like-mindedness that we all have. You know, we have different stories, we have different paths on getting to the same goal of some type of financial health. So I appreciate anyone who's taking this journey with me. It truly started as a way for me to hold myself accountable. And that's really what I am maintaining and focusing on, just to make sure that that consistency and discipline stays in place and that I don't get off track. But I also want to create some really foundational principles that I can pass on to all of the people that are in my circle, family, or friends. No one knows about this page, but they know about my journey. And so I really want to create some good, solid principles. And I know a lot of you all want to do the same. So I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I guess the closer I get to 100, I may look at something to do for customer appreciation. But in the meantime, the thank you is what is what I have for everyone. So as far as the paycheck budget is concerned, so October, if you saw my short that I made a couple of days ago, then you know that for October, I had the wrong date. So I showed that my paycheck I received on October the 20th, it should cover a 2-week period basically. And I had that 11/5 was the date that it should end, right? The time period. And that was incorrect. It actually should be November the 2nd. And I don't know if I said November 5th or something else just now, but I had that it was supposed to cover all bills and expenses for 10/20 through November the 5th, and that was incorrect. It should have been November the 2nd. So I do have a bill here where Nelnet, I have that as I hope you guys can see that. It's a student loan that I have. I had that it was due on the 4th for $82. So I had that budgeted in this check for October the 20th. And really it should be in the check that I'm going to receive tomorrow. So today is November the 2nd, doing my closeout now. And I get paid on November the 3rd. And so this Nelnet needs to be covered under that check. So I had one bill showing 2 places. Just wanted to clear that up because I'm not paying it twice. I'm only going to pay it one time. And I wanted to make sure it fell on the right pay period time frame. So you'll see that marked as a 0. All right, so let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. All right, there you go. And anything you'll notice here, anything that's in green is good, anything that's in red is bad, and then we'll total up what we're looking like for our numbers. So, and I apologize if I'm shaking the screen, that is not my intent. So let's start over here with income. So overall, my plan was to get about $24.75 as far as the budget was concerned. The actual was $26.18 when you consider the rollover, the extra that I have for Nelnet, and then some other things as well. The total was $26.18, so I have that marked out in green. All of my sinking funds went as I planned, so that was a total of $300 that I gave towards sinking funds, so that's why it's in black. As far as my savings is concerned, I did give $25 to my bills buffer, and then I have 0 marked here for savings challenge, but you'll notice that it is in green because it is a good thing. It's not that I did not contribute this money to the savings challenge. I just did not have to contribute anything from my paycheck towards this amount. I actually was able to save that through the previous 2 weeks variable expenses. I was able to squirrel away a little bit of extra money, and so those fees were already covered. So that's why it's marked in green instead of red because we did contribute the $74 to savings challenges. We just did not have to use anything from this paycheck for that. So while I budgeted to provide $99 towards savings, I only had to provide 25, although we were actually able to save the whole 99. And here, let me go and mark that for variable expenses, we will not have the same experience this week that we did the previous week. So for this one, I'm going to mark down $320. We spent the entire amount for that one. And I had to spend a little bit of extra week 1. So we're definitely going to be in the red here. And I'll go ahead and get those numbers calculated here. But what I did do, I do have a few dollars that were left over from this variable expense. So I did not actually spend the whole $320, but the money that I have left over for that, I'm actually going to include that as a part of my savings along with the money that I'm going to actually save, put into the savings challenge from this next check. So I hope that makes sense. So what I've been doing for the last 2 or 3 paychecks, I've been trying to save for my variable expenses and then use whatever my savings was from variable expenses towards my savings challenge, and that reduced the amount that I would have to use in that upcoming check towards the savings. This time what I'm doing is I'm going to go to 0 for this variable expense week 2 to $320. I think I actually have maybe around $20 that's left over from this, but I'm going to contribute that to savings, but I'm also within my paycheck going to go ahead and allocate the money that I budgeted towards savings as well. So I'm going to beef up basically the amount that I will save. And this is just in preparation for Christmas. I really want to use some of these savings challenges to help offset some of the Christmas gift cost associated with being a part of my family overall. So that is what I'm going to do for that. So you'll see more of that in the next couple of paychecks, and you'll kind of see where I'm going with that, plus some additional changes that I was planning to make as well. So here we'll go ahead and say that this is $680 and for the total between the 2 weeks. Let me go ahead and highlight that, and that needs to be highlighted in red because I am over. Okay. Yes. All right. And excuse me if you hear some sniffles. I apologize. My daughter came back from the homecoming dance with a cold, and I think she's passed that on. So it is what it is. All right. You see, that's what happens when you start to become a teenager and go out and do things. Look there. You got to see. No, I shouldn't say that. Okay, so for my fixed expenses, mortgage came out as expected. Ring did as well. I was $1 less for electric, $1 less for the home warranty. FUBU hasn't come out yet, but it is a $100 is automatically drafted. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in as the standard amount so that I can go ahead and close this budget out. It will come out some point today. It just doesn't always clear first thing in the morning. And then Apple Music, you'll notice that that says 24. So with that, I gave my daughter the $12. Basically, the Apple Music comes out of her Cash App that's associated. Okay, let me try that again. The Apple Music fee comes out of her Cash App account, because that's what's associated with the Apple Music account. So I give her the $12 and then let them go ahead and take it out. And so I did that, gave her the $12, and her little account was negative because she was swiping for drinks and snacks and chips and that kind of stuff while she was at school. And so I ended up giving her another $12 just to make sure that that was covered, plus that she'd have a little extra if she wanted to get a drink or something at lunch, which is a separate conversation that we will have as a part of my weekly check-in as far as the budget, the variable expenses are concerned. Wait until you hear what happened there. So I gave her an extra $12 there, and that's why it's in red, and that's why the total is 24. We will go back to the normal 12, and I told her if she does that again, where she has spent the money, then she'll just won't have Apple Music, period. I don't care anything about her having Apple Music. So OneDrive came out at $2 as expected. CLOSEOUT came out at $102 as expected. The groomers was $50 for them to get him Xerxes cleaned up. I was anticipating only having to pay $35, but the previous groomer where my friend lives kind of jacked his body up, and it took a little bit of work to get his cut back the way that it needed to look. So that's a whole nother thing as well. I removed this Chase monthly fee that I have here. I thought it came out on the 30th, but it actually comes out on the 6th. So that as well is moving to the Paycheck budget for November the 3rd. When I get paid tomorrow. I didn't realize that, and you'll see on that one when we reconcile those numbers that I have it in red, but it does mean there's a zero cost associated here, and that's why that's in green. And then I forgot about the lawn treatment, so I'm not getting my lawn cut anymore. Sean's not cutting it anymore, but I forgot that there was one last lawn treatment that I needed for the year, and that came in at $55, so that's why it's in red. And then with debt, we have Nelnet at 0, and that's why it's in green. Sally Mae, I was able to give 100. I think someone said I would put, I think I was asking as a part of the budget with me whether or not I needed to put some extra that I had, or it looked like I was going to have, towards savings or debt, etc. Someone commented and said, you probably want to go ahead and put it towards the Sally Mae or debt, which I did. And so I was able to contribute $100. So although I am paying more money, it is a good thing. And that's why it's highlighted in green, because I really want to be done with her. I'm tired of being in a relationship with her, and I'm ready to break up. Public investment came out at $20 as expected. I sent some money for my class. There was a bereavement with our high school class, and so I did send a donation for that. It wasn't planned, and that's why it's in red. And then I did upgrade to GoodNotes 6. Once I realized it was on sale, I think it was, instead of $9.99, it was $7.49. So I went ahead and did that, and that's $8. That's not a monthly fee, that's a yearly fee. And so I don't have to worry about that until next year this time. I did write it in on my bills budget reviews, just to make sure that I keep this in my mind, so that I'm prepared for next year when it comes through. So instead of spending $152, I spent $143. So it's less money that I spent, which is one reason it's in green. Plus I gave more to Sally Mae, which is another reason why it's in green. So that's good. And then let me go back up here, because I did not tally the fixed expenses. Hopefully you guys aren't shaking too much. 10, 146, 40. I should have said 43. Yeah, I hit the wrong button. All right, 715 plus 10, 146, 43, 100, 24, 2, 102, 50, and 55 equals 1247. So 1247, and then that should be in red because it is definitely higher than what I anticipated. Alrighty. All right, so then let's get our numbers together. So income was 2618. Forgot to change back. 2618 minus 25 for savings, minus 300 for sinking funds, minus 680 for variable expenses, minus 1247 for fixed expenses, and then minus 143 for debt. Alrighty, so actually I should zoom in some. So let's see where we're at with that. 2618 minus 25, 300, 680, 1247, 143 equals. So this says I should have had $223 left over. And that feels like a big old story. Let me do that again, because that is not, well, actually, that might make sense. And I think what happened is, yeah, 223. So I think what happened is that, and I will go to 223. Let me write that a little bit better. I will check my account. When I looked at the account, I thought it only had 180. So I will take another look at that just to be sure, because I do try to look at my account. But what I do have to keep in mind is that I do have a little bit extra in my Chase account. So I have one with Affinity Bank, and that's my bills account. And I had roughly, it's a little bit over 180. So I'm just going to say a blanket 180 left over in that account. What I did not check was my Chase account. So remember, all of these are accounting for not just the money that goes into my bills account, but also separate. We're going to hold sinking funds separate, but my bills account, but also my variable expense account as well. And I did not check there. So I have a feeling that's where that extra is. At any rate, let me go ahead and mark this as a win. And what I am going to do, I don't want to do that. So what I am going to do is, I'll circle that later. Things are just not working out for me right now. But again, that is kind of where you end up when you are doing this live. All right. There you go. It's finally there. And I hope you guys were able to see that as I'm adjusting now, that you guys saw those numbers when I initially calculated it. I was not looking in the camera to see that for sure. So it looks like I am in the green by 223. That's spread as a combination between two different accounts. I'm going to leave that in as my cushion, as well as helping with, as we're going into this holiday season, with any additional monies if I feel like I need to spend towards either gifts or covering some of the food costs around Thanksgiving, around Christmas, or around New Year's. That will have that cushion that'll be in there as well. So I think that that is it. Thanks everybody for your time. You guys have a good one.